Hi, I'm Madeline Newkirk, and I'm the owner of Art, Body, and Soul here in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're a new center for self-discovery. And I'm here today with Leela Harris from Kansas City. She's going to be traveling to Memphis in August to take part in a series that we're calling In Search of the Miraculous. So welcome, Leela.
Thank you, Madeline. So glad to be here.
Yeah. So a little bit about Leela. Leela and I are both Dalian Method facilitators, and that's how we met and came together for this series, which is about the Dalian Method and healing using this powerful method. And so a little bit more about Leela. After a 15-year dependency on psychiatric medications, Leela became medication-free in 2011 after meeting Mata Eliza Dalian, who created a unique and groundbreaking healing method. This radically changed the direction of Leela's life and her understanding of herself and the human condition. So, Leela, can you tell us a little bit about your journey with the Dalian Method?
I had tried other things and other tools and processes that helped me a little bit, but I love the Dalian Method because I could move through a lot more and release a lot more quicker, and it was easier.
Right.
So the things that were overwhelming to me before became like, okay, I can face this using the Dalian Method. There's a way I can deal with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so very empowering for you to be able to work through these things on your own without the dependency of the medication.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're releasing repressed emotions through this?
Yeah, repressed emotions and repressed thoughts just from being human, and especially from childhood where we keep things in. Like if you remember what it was like as a child, you don't even know how to talk about what's going on inside half the time. So it stays inside, and those things that are related to that inner child, they're still there until we start to recognize and look at them. Yeah.
So why is the Dalian Method so powerful for post-traumatic stress disorder?
Well, post-traumatic stress can be really challenging and takes a lot of patience, because I feel like it can take a lot of time. And that's kind of my experience in it personally, is that it's just difficult, and there's like so many aspects of it. And why the Dalian Method helps is, like I already said, it unloads a lot. To me, it works really quickly, which I think is important when it comes to those times, that point in our journey where there's a lot of suffering. I think working with tools that are really fast and go deep is so helpful, because then we can start feeling better. Mm-hmm. Get to that point to where we're not kind of struggling. But there's another thing that I think makes it so powerful is that, because of how the rational mind works, if we're aware of a traumatic situation that happened and we know it's causing problems for us, the thing is how the mind works is it sometimes makes connections with what we already know. That's just how it is. So we might think, oh, this is happening, or I'm experiencing this because I had this trauma. And then this is caused by the trauma and this. But often when I use the Dalian Method on myself, things that I just thought, okay, I'm sure this is caused by the trauma, trauma that I've experienced, I was surprised that actually it wasn't the cause. It was something entirely different that I hadn't even, I had completely forgotten. So that's where it's really helpful, because if I hadn't had this tool to show me what was real, I would have left with my mind that just creates assumptions.
Right.
And lots of stories, right? Like, lots of stuff going on here, which are sometimes just not really, it can take us in the wrong direction. And I think that's what would have happened to me. I would have just kind of stayed in the direction of like, this is the trauma and that's the trauma. And
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that experience too, of thinking one thing and then discovering another. And it really helps to, if I've been holding someone responsible or an instant responsible, then I can let that go. And it's a powerful tool for forgiveness and
Absolutely. Very powerful for forgiveness. Yeah. Because then the blame gets released in that sense of like resentment, and because we see more of what's really going on.
Right. There's really, it ends up being nothing left to forgive because you can see the truth, and it only leaves room for, either love or compassion to come in and fill its place.
Yeah, absolutely.
If someone were to come to you for a session, you're a facilitator, and what might someone expect if they came for a visit?
Well, what we do is we take a look at what's going on in the person's external life, but also in their mental state and their emotional state and their physical state. And the Dalian method is a step-by-step process. And you work with your voice and the breath.
Okay.
And you release these things that have been trapped, repressed in your unconscious. And it's simultaneously working with those different levels of the issues that we struggle with, like the external situation and the mental state, emotional state, and the pain or issues in the body. And so what it does is it deals with the whole person at the same time while working with the unconscious. And beyond that, it's hard to understand unless you experience it, because it is something meant to be experienced.
Right. So can you tell people about the home kit, the home practice that people can use?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can purchase the Healing the Body and Awakening Consciousness with the Dalian method. It's a home study kit, and you can learn to do your own sessions. It comes with the book and lots of instructions and how to prepare and how to integrate the transformations. And you can purchase that either from me or from Madeline, you, at Art Body Soul, because you sell those kits. Also from Mata Dalian, the creator of the Dalian method. She sells them from her website. And you can start doing your own sessions right away. There's lots of support also. So if you do purchase the kit, I encourage you to reach out to someone, another facilitator such as me or, Madeline, and let us know, because then we can make you aware of all the resources that are available to help you do your own sessions, to support you. There's a whole online community, and there's free calls that you can call in and ask Mata a question as well. Yeah. And it's so empowering, because anytime something comes up, you can go and do a session on yourself.
Right. Yeah, it is very empowering in that way. So what would be the benefit of using a facilitator versus doing it at home?
Well, everyone's different. So some people might like working alone more, and some people might like having the guidance of a trained facilitator. Also, if you're working with something that's difficult to deal with on your own, having a facilitator gives you that feeling of safety, because we have been trained in this method. We've been using it on ourselves. There's no judgment. We can also help people see where maybe they can go deeper into their own practice. So I recommend anybody that's interested in the Dalian method to build a home practice, but also to try to get a session, experience a session with a facilitator. So because then we can help you go deeper into that home practice and also release a lot and transform a lot of what's going on with that one session.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift a little bit and talk about the series that we're having. And so the title for your workshop is From Shame to Self-Empowerment, Healing for Women with Sexual Trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little
bit? And that's going to be happening August 18th on a Saturday from 9 to 5 p.m. And I'm calling it a one-day healing intensive. That's because we're going to be using two really powerful processes, the No Yes active meditation and the Dalian method. And between those two, because those are the two processes that helped me the most in my own sexual trauma. And so they go really deep. And So my intention is to really release a lot of like the past, what causes us to relive the past, a lot of those memories, and transform a lot, and also help people so that they start learning the tools for how to move forward after the workshop. They can continue on their own, or continue with a facilitator, or continue in other workshops, because there's other workshops in your series.
Can you tell us also a little bit about your free presentation on Friday night?
Yeah, so the Friday preceding the workshop that's August 17th from 7 to 8 p.m. It's called Going Beyond Symptoms for Radical Change, and that is a Dalian Method presentation, and it's free to the public. Anyone can come, and I especially recommend the workshop participants to come. It's not required, but it can add more to the experience. And I'll be talking about how things get imprinted in us from an early age, and how they continue to come up and surface in different ways over the course of our lives, and how to work with that, and how to come out of what I often call our self-sabotaging patterns. And then I'll be doing a group exercise, and then there'll be a question and answer session with the audience.
Wow, it sounds like a wonderfully powerful hour.
Well, I just wanted to mention something else for anybody watching this. If you're resonating with wanting to try the Dalian method and doing it in a workshop setting, but you're not feeling the sexual trauma workshop is for you, there's 3 other workshops that are coming up. So that'll be on Madeline's website on artbodysoul.com.
Yes, that's true. We have one each month this fall, August, September, October, and November. So we, 4 different Dalian Method facilitators from the United States are coming together to put together this series. I think that our community has a lot to gain from coming to your workshop and hearing your presentation, and it's just, for me, it's very exciting that you will be here, and thank you also for being here today on Zoom with me. And
thank you, Madeline. Thanks for having me, and I am so excited to come to Memphis and visit Art Body Soul and see what you're doing there.